Okay, and we are live. Welcome to our first OnEd student chat of 2018. We are so excited to have such a full house today on panel, and we are really excited to welcome all of the classes who are watching and who will be tweeting along today. I want to just begin with a brief overview of OnEd student chat for those of you who are new. OnEd Student Chat is a student-led Twitter chat that connects K-12 students across the province to discuss topics and questions related to character education, social justice, and citizenship. OnEd Student Chat creates opportunities for students to network with others, gain perspective, build relationships with new learning partners in a literacy-rich learning environment, experience social media as a powerful platform for learning, and establish a positive digital footprint. Again, thank you for joining us, and we are so excited to get started. I am going to introduce Sam, who's going to give us a quick little tech talk and explain how to use the different tools that we'll be using today. Sam?
Hi, everybody. I'm Sam. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you will notice that there is a comment space to your right. This is a great way to share your own thoughts and ideas and to add your own thinking to get involved in the conversation. Or you can watch the video from the website and chat with us and other participants on Twitter. On Twitter, you can follow us at hashtag OnEdSSChat to read ideas, thoughts, questions shared by others. Use that hashtag to add your own thinking and to get involved in the conversation.
Great, thanks, Sam. And now we're going to take a minute just to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves. As I mentioned, we have a full house today. My name is Lee Castle. I am an educator and a consultant, currently working with Spark in Niagara and founder of OnEd Student Chat, and I'm really excited to have everyone here joining us today. I'm going to start on my left here with Austen.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Austen Ghani, and I go to school in Richmond, Ontario. And I'm just so excited to be a part of this amazing team of provincial leads and student leads that we have here talking about something that's really important to me.
Great, thanks, Austen. And Catalina.
My name is Karina. I am a grade 12 IB student with the York Region Catholic School Board, and it's my second year being with the chat, and I'm very excited to start this new chapter and share my experiences here. I'm also bilingual, so I'll be speaking both in English and French. Alors, bonjour tout le monde, je suis très excitée d'être ici. Merci.
Great, thanks, Catalina. And Darcy. Oh, you got to turn your mic on there. All right, you're all set. Oh, try again.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm
now you're all set.
Darcy. I'm a grade 8 student at GDCI. It's an AMDSB school board, and this is my first ever student chat.
Amazing. We're so happy that you're here. And I'm going to keep going along to the students, and then we'll come back to the educators and our special guest. Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. I go to North Perth Westfield Elementary School. Yes, it's a mouthful. In Listowel, Ontario. I've been here since the beginning. This is my second year. And yeah.
Great. Thanks, Sam. And I want to now welcome our two student guest panelists today, joining us from Ottawa Catholic, Charlize and Hanna.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I go to St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Catholic School, and I'm in grade 6, and this is my first year doing the OnEd chat. And I'm Charlize.
Wonderful. Well, welcome today. And we have two of our lead teachers joining us today as well. Jen Casatod, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Casatod. I'm a teacher librarian at Cardinal Carter Catholic High School, passionate about student voice. So excited that everyone's here. And also, I want you to say hello to my students and Miss Chechi from Cardinal Carter. We are joining you today on the YouTube Live.
Great. Thank you. And Brock.
Hey, everyone. I'm Brock Baker. I'm a teacher in Bowmanville, Ontario. Second year on the panel, and so excited for an awesome year we have planned, and can't wait to get to goal setting with Paul. So let's roll.
Amazing. And last but not least, our expert on panel today, Paul, would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Bulakowski. I am calling you from beautiful Montana today. And let's see, so I was a professor. I worked on a lot of my own goals, and one of them, a little bit of a disclaimer, I did start my own company that helps students achieve their goals and work along with their teachers and other guides. So great to be here. Thanks so much for organizing.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right. So let's move right along now into our norm. So I'm going to turn things over to Darcy and Catalina.
So to start, off
Yep.
with our first norm, 20 minutes to discuss one or more questions.
Please be mindful that this chat is open to K to 12 students.
Active participation from classes who are watching.
All comments made during the chat should be positive and productive.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. You may not agree with something someone has said, but we ask that we challenge ideas and respectfully disagree, and we don't challenge the individual person.
Now it's me that forgot to turn my mic on. Thanks, ladies. And I'm now going to turn things over to Sam, who's going to kick things off with our first question today. Sam?
All right, so our first question today is, what does having a goal mean to you?
All right, who would like to start? Okay, Hanna, go ahead.
So having a goal means to us that it's something that somebody wants to accomplish, and it's not always easy to reach your goals, but as long as you try your best.
Right on. And Charlize, did you want to add something?
No, it's fine. I'll do the next.
Okay, perfect. All right, who would like to speak next?
Sure,
I'll
I'll
jump
go.
in at once. All right, thanks, Austen.
So having a goal to me means it's something that I can like accomplish. So it's like I work really hard to get to accomplishing that goal because I always set like a lot of them.
So it's that feeling, that sense of accomplishment, right? It's that reward, that intrinsic reward, that feeling of awesomeness when you do achieve that goal after working so hard. Darcy or Catalina? Yeah, Catalina.
I think for me, having a goal is something that helps me be better. Alors, je pense que quand nous avons un but, ça nous aide de progresser et de travailler sur notre expérience et être mieux.
Thank you.
For me, having a goal, much like what everyone else has been saying, is having something you want to see yourself be successful in, and you're willing to do things to improve yourself and get to that point. You almost want to be like a better version of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Paul, did you want to jump in on that comment? Oh, your mic's off.
Yeah, I'd like to just echo pretty much what people said. I think having a clear goal means that you can define specifically what it is that you want to achieve. You want to be really specific, because then you'll know if you've achieved it or not at the end, when you can look at it and say, I wanted to get here. Did I get there? I think it means naming challenges. So when we have goals, goals usually, our personal goals aren't usually too easy, I think, as some of the other panelists said. So really being able to be specific about your goal, and that often means writing your goal down. There's a lot of research that says we should write our goals down, because as you're encountering challenge after challenge after challenge, you really want to hold that growth mindset. So you keep in mind that you can always get better. You can always improve yourself. And goals can be really big, or goals can be very, very small. And I'm sure people have big goals in terms of it might take a long time, or people might have big goals like it's going to be really hard. So I think that, yeah, having a goal means, I think, that you hold yourself accountable, because it's your goal. You know, other people might have goals too. So,
yeah, I like that idea of that. Speaking to that idea of accountability. I think that's very true. Jen, did anyone in the class that you're with want to add anything there? Okay, Catalina, why don't you hop in and
Yeah. So what I wanted to say real quickly is I agree to what Paul said, and yes, also goals help us progress at the same time. And without a goal, I guess we won't be able to achieve something, because motivation is what fuels, personally, me in achieving and getting better marks, or in doing some things that maybe I won't normally do. So that's why I think it is very, very important to have a goal in order to progress and to discover something new. Alors, je pense que c'est très important d'avoir un but pour découvrir des choses nouvelles et de faire quelque chose qu'on ne fait pas pendant notre vie quotidienne. Et c'est une chose très importante si nous voulons progresser. Merci.
Thanks. And Brock, I can see there's a bit of a conversation starting to happen on Twitter. Anything there that you want to pull in?
Yeah, Mrs. Peck's class is coming up with some great stuff. Having a goal to me means working ahead, and that's from AC. And then we have this really sort of deep one, says having a goal gives purpose to your life. It's something important that you want to work towards. That's from MP. Lots of great stuff coming in from Miss Peck's class.
Amazing, thank you. Does anyone else want to add on to what's been said around question number 1 before we move on?
Yeah, sure, I'll butt in a
bit.
Go
ahead. Thanks, Sam.
So I think goal setting for me is, it doesn't matter really what it is. It's just if you try to get there in a way. It doesn't matter if you do in the end, but it matters if you tried to. Because if you set a goal that you're not going to try to complete, then it's not really a goal. It's just kind of an idea.
Paul, do you want to? Good. I'm glad you're going to jump in.
Back on that, Sam. It was really great. I feel like if we do set one of those big goals, and let's just say that we, metaphorically, we shoot for the sun. If we have a goal that's so far out there, and what happens if you land on the moon? That's still pretty good. And so as long as you're tracking your progress and you're shooting for a star that's way, way out there, probably you're going to like the steps along the way. So, yeah, that really, really great conversation, everyone. I think we're all there.
Anyone else? Sorry, I'm trying to tweet while I'm in this conversation. Sam, why don't we move on to question number 2 then, and then I can send out that tweet, Sam, that I want to send out about what you just said.
Okay. So our second question today is, what is a goal that you have this year? And like Paul said, it can be big or small.
Okay, who'd like to kick things off? All right, Catalina, and then we'll hear from Charlize.
I guess for me, since I'm in grade 12 now, so I'm looking for a university right now. That's, I guess, my biggest and most important goal, to find a good program, get accepted, set things out. So in terms of big goals, that's what I'm mainly focusing on, trying to keep my grades up and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm the type of person that really goes into academics a lot. So I forget about balancing stuff in my own life. So I guess that's a smaller goal I would have, is just to be more balanced. So, premièrement, je veux aller à l'université l'année prochaine. Alors, cette année, j'essaie de trouver une bonne université et un programme que je vais aimer. Mais aussi, je veux être un peu plus balancée. Alors, je veux faire quelque chose pour moi et ne étudier pas tout le temps, parce que je pense que c'est quelque chose que je dois travailler sur.
All right, thank you, Catalina. And that's a big goal. That's a really big goal. And it's also, I think, in many ways, a stepping stone to other goals that you have as well. So it's interesting to look or think about goal setting on a continuum of sorts. Wonderful. All right, let's turn things over to Charlize.
A goal I have this year is to get a good mark on my report card. To achieve this goal, I will study for my test and work hard this year so I can show my teachers that I'm a great learner.
Amazing. And who else are you showing that you're a great learner by achieving good grade?
Parents.
Pardon?
Parents.
Your parents. And most importantly,
me.
You, right? Yeah. Hannah, did you want to jump in too?
Yeah, actually. So a goal that I had this year was to raise over $100 for the Ottawa Food Bank because of the tornado that happened in Robin. And it was amazing. The amount that we raised, it was way over. So
that's amazing. Congratulations. Wow. And that goal feels great.
I was shocked by how much we got, really.
Yeah. And think about all the people that you're helping by setting that particular goal. That's incredible. Wow. That's amazing. Who'd like to jump in?
Actually, I was hoping to share a successful goal story I have from this year. So I was really hoping to be a better cross-country runner, and I wasn't seeing success like that I had wanted from my races. So I set small goals, and I ended trying like fitness little goals, and then I kept expanding my goal and like creating bigger goals, like kind of little goals to make a bigger goal. And I ended up running 3K almost every day for I think 4 months. And by the time the meets came around, I'd really seen the success I wanted. So I just wanted to say that like it might seem like really far out, but if you know how to like create the little goals, then like you can see the success in like the big form, and like work does pay off. So I just wanted to say that.
That's amazing. I am just like, I have goosebumps listening to all these great stories. Oh, I want to hear some more goals. All right, who's up next? Congratulations,
Here, I'll
Darcy,
pop
for you. Yeah,
in.
great. Go ahead.
So one of my big goals this year, kind of like what Catalina said, grade 11. So biggest thing is getting high marks and looking for post-secondary. So it's like kind of piecing everything together, figuring out what I want to do, where I want to go. So that's the biggest thing at the moment.
That's a lot of hard work, right? There's so much planning and thought that needs to go into that process to set those long-term goals and those shorter-term goals. Sam, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. One of my main goals this year was to get on honor roll again, because I'm in grade 8. You want big marks going into high school, blah, blah, blah. And part of that is making sure you study for tests and make sure you have everything you need. Make sure you're learning something in class, not just messing around, which isn't usually a problem for me, but you never know. So far, so good.
Yeah. We'll have to keep our eye on you, Sam. Paul, do you want to hop in?
Oh, well, I love hearing goals. It's so important because when you set your own goal, it's intrinsically motivating. Intrinsically just means that nobody has to give you anything to drive you forward because you came up with it. So I guess technically you want to achieve it. One thing to add that I didn't hear people talk about was the importance of finding good teammates and support to achieve your goals. And so I heard some really big goals. And so I think one of my goals is actually to become a better teammate. And that involves things like listening, like finding great groups like this to talk to. And I think for a lot of the goals out there, while they might be personal goals, to be able to identify and to find the support that you might need along the way, like especially if you think parts are going to be hard. Maybe you can ask one of those sort of, it could be a friend or a teacher or a family member to kind of be there for that hard part, or maybe to help you think it through. You know, I know that in my adult life, things get really hard to do by yourself. So working as a team can really even help everyone in that team achieve their personal goal more easily. And being social is fun.
Yes, it is. I think you made a really great point, and I'd love to go back. Hanna, if we can go back, and Charlize, to what you were saying, and I'm just coming back to you because we started with you. Who are the people that helped you achieve those goals? Let's speak to that. Yeah.
For me, it was it was more of a school-related thing, but in some other type of goals that I have, I ask my parents too.
And how about you?
To help achieve this goal, I'm definitely going to ask my mom to study with me so then I can get good marks.
Amazing. And sometimes friends, right? You have lots of opportunities, especially in the school setting, to lean on and also be a support for your friends when you're working through some of those goals too. I know that this chat wouldn't have been possible without the team that's here today, right? We support each other in different ways, and we each bring a different set of skill sets that adds value to the team and helps us work together to create the kind of experience that we want to create. And for that, I thank you. Yeah. Right on. Well, did you want to add something, Paul? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that when you do write your goals down and you're really specific about them, or if you talk to people in person about them, sometimes it's good that they just remind you what your goals are. Because if you have a goal to break a bad habit and they see you do that bad habit again, they might just be able to say, oh, I thought you had this as your goal. And sometimes that's all that we need from friends.
Yeah, it's that encouragement, right? That cheerleader on the side. Yeah. And also, I mean, it helps too with that accountability piece, because as has been discussed here, goal setting is achieving the goal. Setting the goal is challenging, but also working towards achieving the goal is challenging. And to have that team of support is hugely important to that success. Right on. Brock, anything happening on Twitter that you want to bring in before we move on?
Yeah, just some more coming from Mrs. Sky's class, or Mrs. Sky's class, sorry.
Yep.
And it echoed exactly what Paul was talking about. We had somebody talk about how they're going to try to ask their teacher for help more often as a goal, and just using that power of the team, which is, I think, a really good thing to highlight in our ability to, reach our goals. You need help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was seeing something from Nicole Kaufman's class. Sorry, I'm just looking for it here. That setting goals revolve around, also reflect your core values, which I think was a really important point too. And then how do we put those values in the form of a goal, I guess, into practice, which I thought was a really, really great point from her class there. So yeah, right on.
And from YouTube, I just want to add that Miss Chechi's class had a couple of contributions. And I think what's really neat, there's one that says that they want to do well in their courses. AB said that. But there are also goals like I'd like to do well in hockey and other sports and be connected to my family and spend more time with grandparents, and that from Stefano. And I think that sometimes we're so focused on school because we're in school, but I do love the idea that our goals really need to be balanced so that we consider our emotional lives as well. So that's from Miss Chechi's class.
That's an excellent point, Paul. Go ahead.
No, I was just, I think that's what Darcy was saying just earlier, that you really have to have that balance, because if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not in shape, your mind, your brain, and your body are necessary for achieving your goals. So that is almost like a foundational goal, is to take care of yourself.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And that I think that balance can be difficult, especially when I think about the stage that Catalina is at, when there's such a heavy focus placed on academic success, because there are goals lined up in the future, and maintaining that balance is very important. So thank you for that reminder. Thanks for pulling that in, Jen. That was a great point. Sam, do you want to move us on to question number 3?
Sure. So our third question is, what steps do you take to achieve your goals, and how can you get in the habit of working towards your goal daily?
It's a big question. So what are the steps that you take? How would you describe those steps? Who'd like to go first?
Here I can go.
Austen, why don't you start, and then Catalina will go back. Okay.
So since my goal is like getting high marks, basically the stuff I take every day is making sure with my teachers that I've handed everything in. I have like 2 online classes this semester, so I'm making sure that I have all of my stuff submitted, and I'm always like, might be looking at university websites already, so I'm just kind of making sure that I already have all that planned.
Hey, Catalina.
Well, for me, my bigger goal has a lot of smaller goals. So one of them is writing my extended essay, which Ms. Casatod knows about, which was supposed to be due a bit sooner. It's still a work in progress. So I guess for me, it's making sure I can work on things as we go. So not just waiting for a day when I'm going to finish all other schoolwork, but like kind of finding time every day to work on it, even if it's 30, 45 minutes, because it adds up to about like 3 hours a week, instead of just waiting for a weekend or for that time when I'm going to have nothing to do, because that's never going to happen. So I guess just finding a bit of time to work on things instead of finding a big chunk of time, that helps me to achieve those smaller goals that I have towards finding universities and working on stuff I need to graduate.
Yeah, that's a great point. Do you want to share that answer?
Oui. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
Alors aussi, je pense que je dois trouver du temps chaque jour pour travailler sur quelque chose au lieu de trouver un week-end ou un jour quand je vais faire tout, je peux trouver comme 40 minutes chaque jour pour faire un peu parce que ça va m'aider et ça va me donner la satisfaction de faire quelque chose.
Merci. Who would like to jump in next?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah.
So I think that when you start goals, you have to make sure it's something you really want, because if you don't, you don't have the motivation behind the goal for it to be successful. And I don't look at a big goal as like a big goal. I would look at it as little goals along the way. For example, like when people lose weight, they don't say, "Oh, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I hope I'm 100 pounds lighter." Like it's slowly about like, oh, like 1 pound. Like you slowly work your way up to it, not just like, because that's unrealistic. And you want to feel success along the way, and it motivates you further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
go ahead, Paul.
If I can ask the question, how do you break a big goal down into smaller goals?
I would say that I think you have to look at what pieces you need to work on. Mm-hmm. So I would say like when I was running, I needed to work on sprinting the beginning. So like at the beginning, like you just work on sprinting, or you just, if you want to be like a professional hockey player or something, like you work on your shot, like you work on different aspects of the goal. That's what I would say.
Great.
Yeah.
Since my mic is not muted, I will just chime in. I feel like one of the important steps that everybody can take to achieve their goal is to really use your metacognition. Metacognition means thinking about thinking. And if you set a big goal and it's important to you, you have to really be able to think it through. And so I was really happy to hear you think through your goal there. And this is actually, this skill of metacognition is something that you can actually practice, and you can practice it every day. And as you get better on it, you're then able to remind yourself more, what are the small little parts of your goal that you can accomplish every day? Because I bet you for a track and field goal, you can actually maybe even practice it at night when you're not outside running. You can maybe practice visualization strategies. So I just wanted to bring up that term. Mm-hmm. I'll put a tweet in the other window and a little video that you can all look at to follow up about how to do metacognition a little bit better.
That would be amazing. Do you want to just take a minute maybe to explain metacognition a little more, just for classes that are watching that might not be familiar with that term?
Yeah, sure. Although some people put videos out online that are better than I could ever explain. Okay, so let's break down that big word, metacognition. It has two main parts to it. Cognition. Cognition, it means information processing. It basically means to think. So that's really what your brain is doing. It's really thinking, right? Whether or not it's thinking about numbers, thinking about a big race, thinking about taking a vacation. Metacognition means you're thinking about those thought processes. So you can have a goal to say, shave 5 seconds off of your race time. Okay, well that's cognition. You want to shave 5 seconds off of your race time. Metacognition would be reflecting on that desire and saying, oh, well, how will I shave 5 seconds off that time? Who can I ask for help? What questions do I have? What are my challenges? What's getting in my way of shaving that time off? So we have cognition, and then we have metacognition, which means on top of cognition. And for everyone in this chat, and probably most people listening online too, our brains are developing in a way, and especially when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way through all of your schooling years, your brain is really able to get better at metacognition. Because when you practice something, you get better at it. So even with thinking, just by thinking, you can get better at thinking. Does that make sense?
It does, and I was trying to capture that in a tweet. And short of writing, metacognition means that we are thinking about how we think about our goals, which sounds so circular. But the process and what it made me think about was how the process of goal setting is cyclical, right? That we are always coming back to reflect on and think about our success along the way, and whether the steps we're taking are actually leading us closer to our goal. We're always thinking about how others can support us or are supporting us. There are so many pieces of that. I think it's very, very interesting. Does anyone else want to comment on that? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Hannah and Charlize, go ahead.
So we're on what steps we take to achieve our goals, right?
Yeah.
So the steps we take to achieve our goals, we both have some ideas, but what I wrote was like, we work hard and we try hard. And we also have to believe in ourselves, because sometimes we put ourselves down. We can't do what we really want to. And you just got to push yourself, to be the best person you can be.
Agreed. Yep. Go ahead.
It's a gradual process. So in order to achieve it, you really have to commit and persevere until you get to where you want to be.
Amazing. I think you made a very good point there. Does anyone else want to jump in on that? Sam?
Yeah. So first of all, now I'm thinking about metacognition. Does that mean I'm thinking about thinking about thinking?
Yeah, I think so.
Just gets too confusing. But so for me, for my goal of getting on a roll, the steps you need to take for that, well, the little steps you need to take for that is making sure you get good marks on tests, making sure you know how to write the test, making sure you know how to answer the questions that your teacher asks you for extra credit or whatever.
Yeah, I think you did a nice job sort of breaking down those steps and processes along the way. And I know even within those steps and processes, there are other steps and processes, right? And just being, and I think one of the points that Paul is making is thinking about the thinking that you're doing as you set those goals. Sam, you made me laugh. I'm still giggling about your comment, but it's being very reflective and looking at our process and seeing what's effective and maybe where we need to put a little more effort and energy and work. Yeah. Anyone else want to comment? Anything from Twitter, Brock, that you want to bring in? And Jen, I'll come to you next from YouTube.
I just want to say...
yeah, go ahead, Catalina, and then we'll...
I'm actually having a meeting right now for some of my volunteer experiences I'm doing for school, so I'll be leaving now. Okay. But I just wanted to say this whole idea of metacognition, I'm going to be using it right now because I'm going to be thinking about setting some volunteer goals, so I'm going to go and apply it in practice right now. Thank you so much for today's chat, and I'll let you know how to go next time.
Wonderful. We'll see you then. Thanks, Catalina.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Brock, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that we have lots of great things from Twitter, but I want to sort of encourage everybody to go onto Twitter and check out the OnEd Student Chat hashtag as we're getting close to the end, I think, Lee.
Yeah. We're going to squeeze in one more question because this was one that was particularly important. So let's squeeze that in. We'll take another few minutes and then we can head out. Okay. All right. Anything, Jen, from YouTube that you want to add? No? Okay. All right. Sam, why don't you start us off with our last question. We wanted an extra question today. Our team felt really strongly that we needed to explore this one. So we'll just take another 5 minutes and do that now. Sam, go ahead. Oh, your mic's muted.
Right. What happens if you don't reach your goal, and how do you deal with that failure?
Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that. So what happens if you don't reach your goal, and how do you deal with failure? All right, Charlize and Hannah, go for it.
If I don't reach my goal, I would be disappointed and a little mad. But if that doesn't happen, then I can always keep trying until I reach my goal. To deal with failure, I'll just tell myself that I can do it and there's no need to panic. It's not the end of the world, and I think to myself that there are more chances in life. Also, I say that just because I didn't reach my goal goals doesn't mean I just give it quickly.
Yes. Yes, I applaud you. Yes, right? If at first you don't succeed, we try and try and try and try again. All right, Hannah.
Okay, so when I don't reach my goals, I get upset, but I always remember it's just one thing I missed out on, like Charlize said, and I can do so much more in the future. And like with failure, my mind, in a way, it just kind of goes a bit crooked, but I still try to think of the positive as much as I can.
Right, and failure doesn't mean that you have to give up on that goal. It means that the steps that you had chosen to take to reach that goal maybe weren't the right steps. And there's one thing I say to my two little ones when they get frustrated because they're not able to do something is there's always a creative way to solve your problem, right? And sometimes we just need to look at it a little differently. And I think that speaks to Paul's point earlier about having that team, right? Having people there to support you that might be able to offer you a different perspective.
I'm going to just interject. From Twitter, we had a great comment from Stefano in Miss Chachi's class. If you're not able to reach your goal, it's fine because you could think about what you did wrong, reflect and try again. Try not to get discouraged. And then the adage that practice makes perfect. And it's very much in line with what so many of you have been saying here today.
Perfect. And Darcy, that speaks to Paul's point on metacognition. Paul, if you want to hop in, and then Darcy will turn it over to you. Okay. And then Austen.
Yeah, great. I think we're all on the same page here. I think really important if you don't achieve your goal is to ask why. Why didn't I achieve my goal? Ask a friend, why don't you think I achieved that goal? Because maybe you did something wrong. Maybe it's just a little something that you have to correct, or maybe you didn't achieve your goal because something came in the way that you didn't predict. So maybe the next time you make a plan, you might have to plan around there. But yeah, even if you didn't reach your goal, you probably learned a lot along the way. And you can take that new learning, and you could put it in your tool belt so that the next time you set a goal, you have the tool to get around that challenge.
Yes, well said, Paul. Thank you. Darcy and then Austen.
Coming back to like the idea of like metacognition, kind of like what Paul said, I think the first thing you have to do is reflect. So why didn't it work out? Like maybe you gave up early on or didn't take like constructive steps that are actually working towards your goal. What could you do differently? So maybe it's to get people to help you with your goals or to do research on how to get better at certain things. And when we say like get people to help you with your goals, get people who like are supportive and like know what they're doing. So if you want to be a better swimmer, don't go talk to a track coach, go talk to a swimming coach. And also, no matter what, get back up and be resistant, because if you don't get back up right away, you will never believe you can do it, and you're now worse off than you started.
Yeah, that's a great point, Darcy. And I really like that you sort of highlighted the fact that it's really important you have to have the right people, right? The right people on your team. That's a really great point. Austen?
So my biggest thing is, like everyone else was saying, is to reflect on it. And I think it's all about perspective. You need to think about what you did right and what you need to improve on. And then you just go back and try again and piece it all together.
Yep. Yeah. Brock, is there anything on Twitter or Jen on YouTube that you want to bring in before we start to wrap things up? And then Sam, I'll come to you.
Is there anything
We're good.
Yeah. Okay. Anything on Twitter, Brock, that you want to bring in?
Yeah, just a couple tweets talking about having lots of different goals to keep yourself not bored, but also to make sure that if you don't achieve something, you have something else to work on, which I think is good too.
Mm-hmm, yeah, great point. Sam, did you want to add anything? And then I'll come back to Hannah. Nope. I wonder if Sam has a fire drill right now. He'd mentioned that might happen. Hannah, let's turn it over to you.
Okay, so I just wanted to say a little quote that I always remembered, and I think it's really good to share. We have posters of it in our school. So it's obstacles are just a disguise for opportunities. So, you can do many things that are going to be hard and challenges, but, there could always be an opportunity at the end of it and stuff. So I just wanted to share that.
I love it. I think that was a great way to start to wrap things up here. That's such a great quote to keep in mind. That absolutely, it's not a stopping point. It's the start of a new beginning, Right? Paul, did you want to close with any final thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for hosting and having me here, and to be able to talk with so many people about goal setting. I think that we have a month-long slow chat coming up.
We do. Yeah.
And it's all on goal setting.
All on goal setting.
So how about we support each other in our good goals going forward? And yeah, no, if I can be of any help, or the team that I work with could be of any help, I'll post some links on my Twitter, or you can follow @mindmyedu. Check out Core Atlas, which is this mapping tool that our company came up with to help you achieve your goals. Yeah, but this has been a great experience. Thank you so much for doing all this work, everyone.
Amazing. Well, I want to thank everyone on panel for joining us today and sharing your expertise on the topic of goal setting as we explore this topic and learn together more on Twitter over the course of the month, as Paul was saying. Our slow chat does continue all month long. All you need to do is check out #OnEdStudentChat, and any comments that are made related to goal setting will show up there in that feed. You can also find us online at onedstudentchat.com, where we post all the information for our monthly chats. And of course, you can find us on Twitter at onedstudentchat. We also wanted to let you know to watch for information coming soon about our November 9th chat during Media Literacy Week. The theme for Media Literacy Week this year is Fact or Fake, Help the World Stop Misinformation in Its Tracks. And the OnEd Student Chat team is busy working away on a creative conversation to support what will be discussed during Media Literacy Week. So watch for that information coming soon. Thank you again to everyone who joined us online and on Twitter, who watched the Tweet and Talk and participated in the Twitter chat. We are so grateful to have you as part of our community, and we look forward to seeing you again next month. Thank you, and we'll see you online. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.